So what am I doing riding my gravel bike loaded with 50 pounds of gear uphill near my home in Ashland, Oregon? Well, I'm trying to get a little bit ready to do a cycling tour in Japan with my friend Raynor from Colorado, and we leave in a little over a week, and this is only my second ride with this setup. Made it to Japan, and good thing I did that uphill training with the loaded bike back home, because a lot of these roads are very similar, only way farther. On October 29th, I got on a plane and made the journey to Japan, trying to keep an eye on my boxed up bike. Depending on connections, it usually takes me about 20 hours to get to Narita Airport outside Tokyo. Welcome to Japan. So I made it, my bike made it, all my stuff made it. Got in last night, met my buddy Raynor. This is Raynor. Been friends with Raynor a long time, Raynor Serwinski. He's at Lucid Landscape on the social medias, and his gallery in Crested Butte, Colorado is Crested Butte Fine Art Gallery. We had some dinner, then crashed about 7 o'clock at night and got some sleep, and now it's time to put the bike together. With the bikes built, we took them out for a test ride. Most tourists probably know Narita because of the airport, but the town has a classic traditional street and a beautiful temple with many halls and pagodas, as well as a large forested park that even has a waterfall. The next morning, we got on the bikes and set out for the port of Tokyo. The heart of Tokyo is about 50 miles from Narita. For the first 35 miles, you wouldn't even know that you were on the outskirts of the largest city on the planet. The short days of autumn, we arrived at the Tokyo Ferry Terminal right at sunset. Well, we did the ride. We made it from Narita all the way down to Tokyo and to the port of Tokyo. And now we're just waiting to get on the ferry for our nighttime ferry crossing. Had a good night's rest on the ferry from Tokyo down to Shikoku. It's about an 18-hour journey. We have a pretty nice room here with a couple of bunks. Got some good rest and a shower. Ferries in Japan mostly carry big trucks full of different types of goods, but they have really nice accommodations for passengers as well. And it's great for being able to just roll your bike on and then have a nice peaceful journey with some food, some good views. It's been a really good experience. We're gonna get to Tokushima about 1:20, get back on the bikes and start pedaling across the island of Shikoku, get another 20-25 miles in today. Right on.
It's really organized, I swear. You know where everything goes.
It's camping music. You're supposed to dance now. That was a pretty successful first night of camping.
Yes, sir.
Did all right with that. First night I've ever camped or slept in a tent in Japan, so that's a milestone. Beautiful area here with our own persimmon tree. Ready to get on the road and put in some miles. On our first full day riding on Shikoku, we knew we were headed about 45 miles into the mountains, but neither of us really knew what we had in store. At the top of the first big mountain pass, we'd gained about 2,500 feet of elevation, and we were ready for lunch. So here I found pepperoni pizza potato chips, and you know it's good because it comes with Japan technology. Descending is so much fun, but it wasn't very long before we hit the next climb, and it was bigger than the first one. Yeah, buddy! With another 4,000 feet of climbing, we were cooked. We did it! We knew our campground in the Aya Valley was along the river near a hanging vine bridge, but we didn't know it was necessary to cross the bridge to get to it. Dinner time!
That's right.
After 40-some miles and 6,000 feet of climbing in the freezing cold all day.
Giddy up.
The vine bridges of the Aya Valley, or Kazabarashi, are historic. There are 3 remaining, but there may have been as many as 13 in the past. Legends suggest that the first bridges were built over 800 years ago. So the first day of the trip, I noticed that Raynor had this bigger cargo net than I had that enabled him to carry more groceries, and I commented on how nice that was. And he said, well, maybe we'll find one along, somewhere. And I assumed he meant at a bike shop. But second day of the trip, just sitting on the side of the road. Check it out. So I guess we found one. first mechanical of the trip. All the descending today, and I lost a bolt and my front rack is detached, so hopefully we can get that fixed. Fortunately, we are almost to the end of our day, just a couple more miles, and we're going to be in a town tonight, so there might even be a bike shop. After a couple days camping in the mountains, we saw in the weather forecast that it's going to start raining tomorrow, and it was cold up there, so we came towards the coast and got a hotel room for the night. Now hanging out the tent and the sleeping bag and the clothes and getting everything dry. All of my tech was battery depleted, so now we're doing the big charge up. What happened with my broken front bike rack, turns out that Raynor, in his awesome little toolkit that he brought along with a bunch of spare parts and other stuff, had the exact bolt that I needed. So I was able to just bolt the rack back on. It was literally like a 5-minute fix when we were back on the road. I learned an important lesson there about bringing along some extra parts. So far, we'd been on the bikes or boats nearly non-stop, so I spent some time exploring the small industrial town of Shikoku, known for its papermaking heritage. In Japan, even places built around industry often hide historic sites, beautiful temples, and peaceful gardens. I've also been impressed by how efficiently the Japanese use every bit of available space for farming, even right inside cities. Back on the road, we continued up the coast to the town of Imabari, which was the start of our next objective. Ohayou gozaimasu. We made it to Imabari today, which is a beautiful little coastal town on Shikoku, and this is the Imabari Castle. We're right on the edge of the Setonaikai National Park. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's the islands that are connected by all the bridges, and we're going to ride out into those islands tomorrow. 7 bridges connect the island chain that stretches between Japan's main island and the island of Shikoku. The massive bridge project also includes an elaborate 45-mile network of bike lanes and paths called the Shimanami Kaido. It runs from the town of Onomichi to Imabari. It seems that cycling the Shimanami Kaido has become quite popular, with bike rental companies, guided rides, and even cyclist hotels. Amidst the natural beauty of the islands, there's also a booming shipbuilding industry. The Seto Inland Sea is ideal for shipbuilding. Its mild climate, numerous islands that offer protected harbors, and connectivity to industrial centers and international shipping lanes have made it a global shipbuilding hub for centuries. We diverted our route across the interior of Shikoku up to Imabari just so we could ride the Shimanami Kaido. So early the next morning, we were excited to get on the road. About ready to embark across the islands. Because we wanted to see the island chain and not actually cross to the main island, we rode most of the way out and then came back to camp on a tiny island under one of the bridges that's only accessible by bike.
Dinner time. Beef stew and peppered chicken.
The islands of the Shimanami Kaido are a cycling paradise, and I would have loved to spend more time exploring them, but it was time to get back to the island of Shikoku and continue our journey. The weather and the coastline were beautiful, but rain was back in the forecast, so we decided to follow the shore down to Matsuyama, where we could find another hotel for the night. Biking along the coast, we would often pass people going in the opposite direction wearing white shirts and straw hats on the 88 Temple pilgrimage. The pilgrimage traces the path of Buddhist monk Kobo Daishi and originated over 1,000 years ago. While traditionally walked in about 30 to 60 days, the 750-mile route can also be completed by bicycle, so something to consider for a future trip, I guess. Arriving in Matsuyama, we checked in at our hotel, and then I went off to explore the castle. This is Matsuyama, kind of on the western side of Shikoku Island. Last few days have just been spectacular. Perfect weather, beautiful sunny skies, and now we're heading down towards where we can catch the ferry over to Kyushu Island and do the final leg of our trip. And we opted for the hotel option here in Matsuyama because we knew it was going to be raining last night and today. Okay, I guess that's it, all packed. And time to head out into the rain. At this point, the rain has let up, so we might be not too wet today. We'll find out. By waiting until later in the morning to start riding, we had missed most of the rain. Within an hour, it began to clear, and the rest of the day stayed dry. Incredibly, it only rained twice on the entire trip, and only briefly. That's why we chose the month of November. It's one of the months with the lowest rainfall and best temperatures for cycling in Japan. So, stopped at another Lawson convenience store. And I've discovered that my guilty pleasure from the Lawson markets are these pancakes, and they have like a gasket of butter and maple syrup inside, and wow, are they good. At sunset, we said goodbye to Shikoku and rode our bikes onto the evening ferry in the port of Yawatahama for a 2-hour boat ride to Beppu on the island of Kyushu. We decided to spend a day exploring Beppu, which has an abundance of hot springs that have made it a popular onsen resort since the late 19th century. Takagawara Onsen, one of the oldest, was founded in 1879. Raynor took the opportunity to collect some more Eki stamps, which he did throughout the trip. You can find them at most train stations, museums, visitor centers, and many of the main attractions in Japan. Searching them out is like a scavenger hunt. The Beppu ropeway takes you to the top of Mount Tsurumi at an elevation of over 4,000 feet. It offers panoramic views of Beppu, the Kuju Mountains, and Mount Yufu. The fall color on Mount Tsurumi was so beautiful I decided to hike down and take some photos along the way. With our ferry date back to Tokyo just 5 days away, we got back on the bikes and headed north, following the coast around the Kunisaki Peninsula. After another great night camping, we woke to a stunning sunrise and continued around the Kunisaki Peninsula, passing through a whole bunch of tunnels and farmland, stopping for the night in Nakatsu, where we had an amazing meal, and then we continued on to Mojiko. We had 2 reasons for going to Mojiko. One is that it's close to the Shinmoji ferry terminal, where we would eventually catch the ferry all the way back up to Tokyo. But it's also where we could leave our bikes for a night and take the train into Fukuoka, the largest city on the island of Kyushu. And there we would visit my son Griffin, who's been living in Japan for 4 years. We are back at the bikes in Mojiko after a successful excursion. Took the train all the way down into Fukuoka, saw my son Griffin, hung out with him for parts of 2 days. It was great to see him. And I ate a lot of good foods. Here we go. Saw some great sights around the city. It was a nice little side trip on our bike trip. Good to be off of the bikes, even though it's been barely 30 hours since we left the bikes. It feels like it's been about a week. But now it's time to get back on these guys and pedal 5 or 6 miles to where the ferry will pick us up and take us back up to Tokyo. A couple more tunnels to the ferry. And then I think we may be done with tunnels for this trip. There are a lot of tunnels in Japan. The second to last tunnel, the final tunnel.
Just did our stock up at 7-Eleven for our upcoming ferry ride.
And that's our boat that will be taking all the way back up to Tokyo over the next 36 hours. 2 nights on that guy.
Yeah, it's a long ferry ride, but that's really the only way we had to get the bikes back up to Tokyo at the end of the trip, other than riding them, which would take us another couple weeks.
So we parked our bikes in the hold, got reacquainted with the surroundings, settled back into boat mode, and relaxed for the trip from Shinmoji up to Tokyo. When we got off the ferry at 5:30 in the morning, it was still dark. So we headed to the nearest Lawson for some breakfast and waited for the sun to come up before setting out through the streets of Tokyo for the 50-mile ride back to Narita, where the trip began.
Yeah, bud. Good ride. Made it.
Try to get all of this stuff packed back up, get the bike back in that box, and get it all ready for traveling back home. And there it is, all boxed up, ready to travel.
So, Raynor, we just did like 18-day bike trip, over 500 miles, almost 60 hours on ferries, probably more convenience store stops than we can count, and a lot of good food. What stands out for you on the trip?
Boy, what doesn't stand out is probably the better question. It's, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful countries, societies, cultures. The people are super friendly, thoughtful, kind. It's safe, it's clean, and just the roads for cycling. I mean, this is a prime example of what we're walking on. Almost every river in Japan has banks. They build up banks around them to help mitigate flooding and such. And then on top of those banks, perfectly paved bike and pedestrian walkways, some of which run for hundreds of miles. They just go forever. And even if you find yourself on a busy street, there's always going to be a sidewalk, often with a guardrail that you can bike on so you're not in traffic. But again, best drivers in the world. Very patient. There's no honking. There's no aggression. It's visually so beautiful. It's really a cycling paradise. As Sean mentioned, the food, it's, again, inexpensive, and they're at these little convenience stores like 7-Elevens everywhere. And the food in them is like designed for cyclists. The perfect amount of like carb and protein and little packs of food you can get. They're amazing. This is my second bike trip here. Won't be the last.
If bike touring or bike traveling in Japan is maybe one of the best places to bike travel, what is it about bike travel in general, anywhere, that you enjoy?
Oh boy. You're almost on a different plane of reality. I know that sounds big, but you're moving at a slower speed by your own power, and it's peaceful and it's reflective, and you have time. You can just pull over and stop whenever you want. You notice things more, I think. Ultimate adventure. It's really wonderful, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.